been here 5 times, you know I have to love it. So real quick, I have Courtney, who's my helper. She is going to show you a beautiful view of this amazing Italian village pool. So the sun is out. This, to me, Italian village is one of my favorite villages here. And we'll talk about the different categories and villages here at Turks and Caicos. But I wanted to give you a real quick tour. This is one of my favorite room categories, so come along. And again, I know there's lots of questions. I have so much information, so we're just going to take it step by step. So come on in. This, to me, this is one of my favorite room categories for families, and I sell a lot of it because of this. Courtney, if you can do a little loop around, you are going to see this adorable bunk bed with a trundle. So if you have a family of 6, 5, this is incredible because at least I don't know about your children, but my children, they do not want to sleep with each other. They want their own sleeping space. This, you're going to get it. They have Xbox. So this essentially is the kids' room. And what is lovely about it, they've got their own sink. This pocket door is the best thing because at nighttime, when you're done with the kids, it's time for them to go to sleep. You can just close the pocket door and they're in their own space, and then you can stay and enjoy your beautiful view in your room. So come on this way, Courtney. Maybe you can get real quick just a view of the bathroom there. This is going to be the main bathroom. Again, you can close the pocket door so you can still be getting ready while the kids are sleeping. And this was one of, again, I have been to this property. I was here 7 years ago, and when I did a tour and came through this room category, I was like, wow, I have not been to a resort that has a room quite like this. So here is your master bedroom area. And again, here we have another sleeping space with a trundle. So you could put another 2 kids here. So if you have a huge family, this room category is incredible. There is plenty of sleeping space for the kids. Again, we've got a king bed. And then this room category is a butler level room category, which we will be meeting a butler shortly who has been with the Sandals and Beaches resort brand for 18 years. He's been here for 12 years. So we'll get to meet him and talk about some of the things that come with a butler level. But again, then you're looking out to this, which we're going to go outside at the end. But when I tell you the water is turquoise, beautiful white sand, this is why I love Turks and Caicos. And this, it's hard to beat a beach like this. And I'm a beach person. So for me, you can't beat it. And I did want to mention that if you're in the DC area, which this is like game changing, there is a direct flight out of Dulles. And I think it's seasonal, but direct flight out of Dulles, 3.5 hours, you're here. So for all of you looking to get away soon, and this is new. I mean, they don't do this all the time. So I'm super excited about that. I personally did a layover, just found out about this direct flight. So moving forward, if you guys are willing to go to Dulles, we can get you here directly in 3.5 hours. Then you walk in. So let me go back for a second. That Italian village room, that is one room category right there, what we just saw. However, if you have a even larger family, or you just want a living space, you want more area, then you can come into this secondary living area, which also has another trundle bed, a sofa bed. So you can easily put, and I'm not sure if we know how many, do we know how many people can be in this room category? Is it 8, 12? 12 people can be in this room category here. And again, this is a great way for a large family, or if you have a couple families, we can get you all in here. And again, your ocean front with plenty of living space and sleeping space, which is important. I love the fact that everything, the single beds here, every child has their own sleeping area. So we are loving this. Now we're gonna come out here. I feel like I have, and I know Ellen, who works with me, is, we had a lot of questions come up. So I'm gonna talk real quick about, actually, we should talk about Butler first. Let's start with lots of Butler questions, and maybe you can explain some of the special things. I know for me personally, what I love is the beach service, that you provide beach service to the guests, but maybe you can give a rundown of what services you offer.
Of course, on a regular day, your butler is here 24/7 for your needs and queries. Of course, from room service to beach setup on the beach to a nice bubble bath in your room. You know, we do it all. In-room dining, instead of going to the restaurant, you can have breakfast on your patio, dinner on your patio if you'd like. Of course, with 24-hour room service, all you need to do is dial 0 and the butler will be on call. All right?
Thank you so much. Yes. And there's lots of questions, and I do want to touch on, I know a lot of people have had questions with COVID and the safety protocols. This is my first international trip since last March. So again, I've had many opportunities to travel places, and when this one came up, I said, it's time to go. It's time. I felt comfortable, and I have to say, the process from beginning to end was very, very smooth. You do have to get a negative COVID test 5 days prior to arrival to come on the island of Turks and Caicos. So the great thing is, when you get here, everybody else has had to have that negative test as well. So I went through the process. I have to fill out a form online. The islands of Turks and Caicos then authorize me to travel. The airline is asking for that before I even board the flight. Before I can even get on the plane, they are checking to make sure I'm authorized to travel to this island. And then upon arrival, immediately there was temperature checks done, a health screening form. The transfer driver here had masks on. I'm not wearing a mask right now only because you wouldn't be able to hear me properly, but all employees are wearing masks. They ask that guests, when you're going up to the restaurants, if you're dining in, it's very much like in the United States. If you're dining inside, they want you to have a mask on when you go to check in until you get seated. When you go to eat your food, you can remove your mask. But the beauty of it is we're in the Caribbean. So all of the restaurants, and they have so many restaurants, which we'll talk about in just a minute, most of them have outdoor seating. So the great thing is they haven't had to switch up as far as that's concerned. I've eaten outside, and I've done this before COVID. When I'm in the Caribbean, when I'm in paradise, I don't want to eat inside. I want to be outside anyway. So that's been fantastic. Around the pool area, beach area, when you're walking outside, you don't have to have your mask on unless you want to. They just ask if you're indoors that you're adhering to that and putting the mask on. The other thing is there's hand sanitizer everywhere. They will not let you sit down to dine until you use hand sanitizer. I personally, what I loved was when I was dining outside yesterday, a family left, and I saw the employee. A lot of places say, "Oh, we're doing this, we're adhering to this." I saw the employee literally wiping down all of the chairs, the tables. Before one of their shows last night, they had employees going through all of the chairs and literally sanitizing all the chairs. And again, this isn't for show. This was behind the scenes employees doing this. We are live, so we've got the beautiful ocean, but we have people doing other things too. I think we'll be okay. If it gets too loud, we'll move inside. But these are important things because again, they're doing it behind the scenes. They're not just saying that they're doing it, they're actually doing it. So I personally feel totally comfortable as far as the safety protocols. When I entered my room, there was a seal on the door that I had to break. So when they brought me to my room, I had to break the seal. Again, and if you saw my room tour of that, the Key West Village, you saw, they're cleaning the room, sanitizing the room, and then they're locking it. So you know that no one else has been in there. So again, we're in the Italian village. We can talk about some of the other villages. This is a huge property, but not overwhelming. I love that each village has its own unique feel. And I have my favorites, of course, but they're all unique. They're all different. And it's just, whether it's day or night, this property to me is absolutely beautiful. The way it's laid out, the gardens, it feels like you're in the Caribbean. Sometimes you go to some and they're ultra modern and they don't quite have that real Caribbean feel. This place does. So again, if I've been here 5 times in 7.5 years, that tells you how much I love it. And I've sent lots of families here over the years. So do we want to go in? We can go into food now, and then maybe Ellen or Courtney, if there's anything else you want me to touch on. I'm sure I'm forgetting some things, but I think we've touched on safety, the room, and we're going to go right into dining right now. So this is Chef Gary, who again, let's see. Okay. Let's see. Good. Can you see us? Chef, do you want me to get my mask? I'm awful close to you. Courtney, you may have to
That's fine.
hold it. That's fine. Or back up a bit. Sorry. No. Okay.
This is better.
Away a little bit again, just trying to be safe here. So Chef Gary, I have had the pleasure of working with Chef Gary for, I don't know, it's probably been 1.5 years or 2 years. And it all came about because we had one family with, the child had serious allergies. And so I reached out to Beaches and said, listen, we would love to send this family here, but we have to be really careful. We have serious allergies. What are the protocols? How are we going to handle it? And they put me in touch with Chef Gary. And I like to think I have him on speed dial, which that's what I tell everybody, that I've got him on speed dial. But he is fantastic. He has worked with at least 4 of our families with serious allergies where you cannot have cross-contamination. And every single one of those families, hopefully you all can hear me, every single one of those families has come back and said to me how great Chef Gary was. And on top of it, there were no issues. Essentially, the families came home, the children were safe. If it was an adult with allergies, they came home without issue. So again, this speaks volumes because this is a huge resort. And to have basically a chef that is dedicated to these particular families is really, really important. And so we feel very confident that we can recommend Beaches as a place, and then we can't do that everywhere, as a place where we can send families when there are gluten allergies or whatever type of allergies they are. So I'm going to stop talking a bit and let Chef Gary give a little bit of overview of how he helps, and then maybe we can talk about some of your favorite restaurants. I can talk about some of my favorite restaurants.
No problem.
Okay, take it away.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to.
Thank you. Yes.
Andrea. I always look forward to getting your emails, getting your messages, and having those guests coming with us. No doubt some of them are demanding.
Yes. Yes.
But we have steps in place to ensure that everybody is taken care of. I'll give you a simple one. This form says no cross-contamination.
Right.
So once there is an individual that comes in and I get a red flag from you
Yes.
that says, please look after this person,
Yeah.
we don't go with the regular forms like these. We go with the one that has the red on there.
Right. Because this is important. Cross-contamination, that's huge. A resort can say, oh, we can handle allergies, but when there are severe allergies, you can't have utensils touching. You cannot have any of that.
That is correct.
So again, this is where Chef Gary is really helpful.
So once this goes to the restaurant and it goes in copy, not black and white.
Yeah.
So once the chef sees that there's a red one here, it doesn't have to be gluten, it can be anything.
Yeah.
But once it is red, particular attention is paid to this, and the chef of the restaurant cooks this food, not the subordinate, not the line cooks.
Right.
So that's one of the protocol that we have in place.
Yes.
Another one is the menus that we set up. They have symbols. If you look at the symbols, you'll see it says gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And what we try to do is modify all of the menus that are there, the items on the menu fit this specification. So if you go to a restaurant But one of the challenges that we do have sometimes is that individuals, they have their allergies. They don't want to come to the office. They don't want to sign up. They just want to free.
Right.
So we always say, speak to the chef in the restaurant.
Yeah.
The chef in the restaurant is going to say, how can I help you? They're going to prepare your meal. It's going to take a few more minutes, more than if it was just there. But they're going to take a few more minutes, going to make sure that what they're prepared is safe for you, and so you can have a fantastic vacation. Whether it's birthday, it is wedding cakes, it is whatever it is, we prepare things away from cross-contamination. Right now you have some brownies here.
Yeah.
It is gluten-free and it is delicious.
And we actually have a question, guys. Somebody asked, how does the food for the wedding receptions work? Just asking about that, which you kind of touched on as far as culinary concierge and things like that with wedding receptions.
Yeah. So wedding receptions, once we have the order prior to the date, 24 hours at least, we can get your cakes done, we can get whatever you request done to ensure that you have a fantastic stay with us. Whether it's one person, whether it's the entire party, we ensure that you have your gluten-free.
That's great. And again, for weddings, and I'm going to touch on, again, there's so much information that for this live event, we don't want, everybody sitting around. If I don't answer your questions on the live event, I know Ellen is putting in the chat how to reach us on Facebook, how to reach us on Instagram, through our website. We do weddings here. That weddings are different from a family coming. We that's a completely different department that we work with, and I'll be taking videos actually later today of wedding setups, and I'll be doing my own personal videos on weddings and how we handle receptions and the food. That's all planned out with the planner ahead of time. We are involved, but then we also bring in a on-site wedding planner here to help with the menu, and we can handle any allergies or dietary restrictions again as far as weddings. So yeah, for weddings, I'll be touching on that as well. Like I said, I'll be here for another 2 days, so I'll be doing videos, answering questions, those sorts of things. So again, if something doesn't get answered today, just because it's a lot of information, you just message us and we'll get you the answer. So yeah, Chef Gary, again, I think what's very exciting also is this is another property where you can come for a week or 10 days and maybe you hit all the restaurants, because maybe. There are so many. I am trying to, and it's kind of fun here with all of us agents. And again, the people that work with Sandals and Beaches, we talk about dine around. And what we mean by that is maybe we get an appetizer at one restaurant, and then we go have dinner at another, and then we go get dessert and coffee at the French little bistro. So it's really fun because there is something here for everyone as far as dining options. I don't know if you have a favorite. Do you have a favorite restaurant or a favorite dish here?
I do. I've been here for 12 years, and I've spent most of my 12 years in Arizona. It's just to die for.
Yeah.
The ambience for lunch down there, it is just amazing. And imagine you have a team that flip that at 4 o'clock, and you have a la carte restaurant in 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's just amazing. And if you ever want steak, if you ever want a good T-bone steak or a good ribeye steak, Arizona is the place to go.
Okay. So that's Tex-Mex. I'm actually going there for lunch today because again, I'm trying to, and I think I've been to every restaurant here, but I like to go back around and try them all. So I'm doing Arizona for lunch today, and what they are doing again, this goes back to because we did touch on COVID and the safety protocols, but I did want to talk about the restaurants. So what they're doing right now, let's say you want to come down in a month, which I can tell you, now is the time to come. If you saw the Italian Village pool, the shot we got at the beginning, that is the hub of this resort. And normally those lounge chairs, you better be out there at 9 a.m. because that's where everybody wants to be. And there are tons of pools here, don't get me wrong, but the Italian Village pool is the pool. So we can come here, we can get a lounge chair. I got a lounge chair yesterday at, 2 o'clock, which normally you would not be able to do. So
That is true. That is true.
So it has been so nice to come here. So if you're thinking about it, if you've been on the fence with, do we travel, do we not? again, it's everybody's personal comfort level. But if you feel like you're comfortable and you're ready, now is the time to come because you have the resort. You can get into all the restaurants. You can get the lounge chairs. You feel like you have the resort to yourself. It's really fantastic. This property just opened December 21st. So they've only been back open for a few weeks since COVID hit. So it's like coming back to a brand new resort right now. And so, yeah, I have had a really good time being able to just enjoy. So one of my favorite, well, I have lots of favorite restaurants, but I'm now like obsessed with the sticky toffee pudding over at, oh my gosh, I've had it every day. I'm loving it. Like, so you kind of find your dishes that are your favorites. I had sushi last night. So there really is something for everyone here. There are 21 restaurants.
Correct.
I don't even know how many bars. There are really count the swim up bars. I mean, there's lots of bars. There's tons of bars. So again, you can come here for a week and maybe you hit all of the restaurants. And that's what's fun about it is there is so much to do here. You're not going to be bored, and the kids aren't going to be bored either. So that's a little bit about dining, and I will tell you that's what I wanted to touch on with COVID, what they're doing right now. Normally, you do not need reservations at the restaurants here, other than the teppanyaki and maybe the French chateau.
Chateau Sapodillas and
Sapodillas, right?
correct.
And kimonos.
That's right.
So normally, pre-COVID, those are the only 3 restaurants you would need reservations for. Everything else, you just come and go to the hostess desk and get a seat. What they are doing as a safety measure to make sure that everybody's spaced out, we don't have too many people, you do make reservations at the culinary desk. When you check in, you can do it, or the next day. So I've arranged all of my dinner reservations. They do have a few restaurants that are just open to go in as you want, but the majority of the restaurants are reservation only.
Yes.
So again, I did it the first day I was here because I knew what restaurants I wanted to try again. So I made sure to do that ahead of time so I could get in.
Just to tell you though, don't get scared if you didn't get up to make a reservation. If you didn't get to make a reservation, we'll still accept you into the restaurant. You might have to wait a few minutes, but we won't chase you away.
Right. And your butler, if you have a butler level room category, the nice thing is I have club, which again, if you saw my room tour, which we put on Instagram and Facebook, it's absolutely fabulous. I'm over in the Key West Village, which is another one of my favorites. But if you have butler level room category, then your butler will handle all of your reservations for you. So again, there is quite a benefit to having the butler. They will escort you to your restaurants. They'll make sure you get in, you're comfortable, you're seated. And that's pre-COVID. During COVID, that's just a part of the butler level service. So that's how they're handling restaurants right now. Again, it's gone great. If you make it in advance, you're going to get into the restaurants you want. And then for lunch, again, Arizona, they have open seating. It's outside.
Even jerk shop.
And the Jerk Shack. Okay, I met Chef Gary yesterday for a little powwow down at the Jerk Shack. I am their fish in foil off the charts. I had it probably 3 years ago. It is my secret coveted. I don't even like telling you all because it is my favorite. It's at the end of the property. It's like my secret place. It's healthy. I love it. I love it. So it did not disappoint. I had that yesterday for lunch. So again, lots of dining options here at Beaches. So now I think, should we go into questions? Let's go in, Ellen or Courtney, if there's any questions. We still have the butler here, so if there's any questions either regarding food, butler service, or general questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Sure. So I'll start reading off some questions that we had. As I mentioned, someone asked, how does the food for a wedding reception work? Is there an additional cost? Are some things included and others are not? I know this, as you mentioned, is a completely separate aspect of what we have to offer, but if you want to touch on it or perhaps reach out later with more details.
Sure, yeah, we have done vow renewals here, we have done weddings here. So again, if you have a wedding and let's say you have 20 guests, at that point you're working with Shoreline Destinations, but we are working with the wedding department here on rooms, your food, and depending on how many guests you have, packages, they can actually start at around 600, I think, or 300 for your vow renewal to start. So there's a base level, and then you're building onto that. We're currently doing a wedding where, there's cigar rollers, there's fire dancers. You can make what you want of a wedding. We did a vow renewal, which was more simple. They just wanted to do a vow renewal. They didn't want a lot of extras. They just did a private dinner. So depending on the number of guests you have, that will kind of determine your food and how we handle that. There are multiple reception areas here on property. I will be getting pictures of some of them and videos. So as far as weddings, and I know we have some people signed up that are interested in that, we will be reaching out to you directly to start that conversation. And then we'll go from there and we can talk about pricing. We can put you in touch and start that whole process of securing a date here and a location. So that, hopefully that answers wedding questions. Again, that is a separate thing that we have to handle very, very differently. We have the wedding side of it, and then we have the family side of it. So again, anybody interested in weddings, and I know there are some on this, we will be reaching out to you and go from there. Any other questions? Was there anything I'll touch on real quick? Again, the water park, which I'm at the front end of the property, which has this beautiful beach view. Behind us, again, I mean, it is absolutely stunning. I was going to say, Courtney, let's get one more peek of this beach. I know what I wanted to touch on is I'm looking at the boat here. So not only is your food and drink included here, along with nightly entertainment. I think someone asked, are they doing entertainment and shows? Yes, they are. They're running their shows again. Again, they have the chair spacing appropriately, but I was watching, they were doing salsa lessons last night. They were doing a dance performance on the stage last night, and they had normally the chocolate buffet, which normally is a buffet. So again, they've gotten rid of a lot of their buffets because of COVID. Now they had basically this chocolate night, and they had past desserts. So you could go watch a show, grab, they had a bar set up, and then grab your desserts. So yes, there are activities and programs running.
And we have another question on that. Someone asked, is the water park included or is it extra?
The water park is included.
Of course not.
It's all included, and it is so fun over there because you have a lazy river. You have at least 3 to 4 water slides, and I don't mean like just little baby water slides, like fun with the tubes. I'll get pictures and videos of that. All included. They have the best, and this started maybe 2 or 3 years ago. They put food trucks over there, so they have the Mac Daddy food truck. And yes, and then the ice cream. They have ice cream trucks over there. All of that is included. So your kids, literally, you can go find a lounge chair, park yourselves, have a drink. The kids will be running around the water park. They can go grab mac and cheese. They can grab their ice cream, all included. And one of my favorite things, and I still have not seen this in any other property, they have a swim up bar for kids. So it's like this little mini swim up bar with these cute, obviously virgin drinks, but they have all these drinks. So your kids feel like adults. They can literally swim up, take a seat at the pool bar and grab their virgin strawberry daiquiri or whatever. I haven't seen that at any other property. So I know that was a fun thing when I was here 7 years ago. I was like, this is crazy. So yes, water park is all included. And touching on that real quick, as we were looking out at this beautiful water, you also get daily glass bottom boat rides for free. Complimentary. So I've done that before. I'm actually going to do one either later on this afternoon or tomorrow. So I'll get pictures of that. I talked to the program manager over there. They said they're running them. They just aren't allowing as many guests on the boat because of COVID.
We have one more question. Sorry. If you want to be closer to the water park, which village is the closest?
French is the closest. So if you want to be right there at the water park, French is the closest. The other one would probably be Caribbean. Maybe. I mean, they're all really close, but if your goal is to just be by the water park, then French would be the way to go. So glass bottom boat rides, complimentary every day. They have like 4 or 5 times a day. Snorkeling is complimentary. They have, if you're a certified diver, You get unlimited diving. If you're not certified, you can take a class here. They have a pool. It's a small fee, and then you can go dive till your heart's content. So again, tons of water sports, all included. So, I mean, and diving, for those that are divers, to be able to go and dive 2 times a day, that's expensive. So to be able to do it here, that's included in your room costs, it's an amazing value. So that was water activities. Any other questions?
Yeah, we had a couple other questions come in.
I think
One of the questions is, what activities are there for kids? Can you tell us about the kids club activities for kids aged 10 to 12?
10 to 12. Okay, so we have, and I'm not quite sure, ladies, maybe we have, for the teens and tweens, we have Xbox, we have the Liquid Nightclub, that's there, that's
the arcade.
Teen club at night. That may not be open right now because of COVID. I saw it lit up. I haven't gone up there, so I'll have to check. As far as the younger ones, there's Camp Sesame. So again, that's a kids program. I saw yesterday some workers here had the younger kids. They had their vests on, and they had taken them over to a kiddie pool. So they were basically, it's daycare. But Camp Sesame is a great program, kids program. Their theming here is Sesame Street. So like last night during the show, Cookie Monster came out. So, and normally, I don't know if they're running it right now, but they normally have a Sesame Street parade. That's still going on. That's so much fun. So we do have, sorry, again, we're live. So this is, we wanted to be outside so you could see the beautiful water. But yeah, so the kids programming, that's included. Lots to do for the kids here.
Can you repeat what the activities were for teens?
For teens, there's the Xbox, and right now, I believe because of COVID, again, things are a little bit different. It's still, we're just getting back into travel. So as things get better, more things will open up. I've always loved the Xbox Lounge. So there is basically a over by the water park is where you're going to find a lot of the kids' activities. They have an Xbox Lounge over there, which not that you want your kids on Xbox, but let's be real. I mean, I've got 3 boys that are teenagers. They want to play their Xboxes. So it is what it is. They've had a great day, and now they want to go play some, video games. There's a lounge over there for them. The upstairs, there is the teen lounge, Liquid Nightclub, and then there's also a tweens and teens area inside that'll have, I believe, it wasn't open, so I'll have to check what's in there. But again, another lounge for the tweens, not so much the teens. And then they have ping pong tables. That's all outside. That's open. There were tons of kids out there doing ping pong last night. So you have ping pong outside. And then again, I mean, you have the water park, which, and it's extremely safe here. While it's a big property, you as a parent, and again, I have 3 kids. The first day, maybe you just want to kind of get your lay of the land, but at some point, you're going to feel very comfortable letting your tweens and teens kind of go off and do their own thing. And there's lots of areas for them to explore.
And before we wrap up, just out of curiosity, what are some special things in the past that your butlers have done for you, just to show how above and beyond they really go?
Okay, well, this is me being spoiled, and I don't like. I'm not one to feel like I'm a spoiled person, but I went to dinner one evening, and some of the resorts, and again, this is beaches. This is your family friendly. This to me it's hard to beat this one. But there's other beaches locations, and then obviously we have the adult side, which is the Sandals brand, which again, I have my favorites there. Don't get me started on Barbados. I'm like crazy for it. So some of the room categories, not here, but at the Sandals brand, have tubs actually out on your balcony. So one night I was at dinner, and again, I don't get butler all the time, but I was lucky enough to have butler level category. And I was at dinner and I thought, oh my gosh, I just want to have a hot bath. I want to have a nice dinner, and I want to come back to a hot bath. I called up my butler and said, can you draw me a bath? I got back to, and it was just me, rose petals in the tub, out on the balcony in St. Lucia. So again, it was, for me, that was a memorable thing because it's something special. I don't get that at home. It's something special. It made me feel special. But here particularly, again, because it's a big resort, I love the fact that the butlers, you could be out at the beach, and this is a beach you'll want to stay at all day long. They'll come bring your food, your drinks. You don't have to get up off your lounge chair if you don't want to. So to me, that's a big perk here because again, it's a big property. If your kids are happy in the water, you want to drink, you don't want to get up, this is where to come. And you also get the cabanas. Again, those are highly coveted. If you're a butler level room category, you're going to get a cabana by the pool. So those are some of the fun things. And again, you know, the butler's going to handle any reservations. They're going to make sure you get to your dining spots on time. So there's lots of perks to having a butler. Anything else, Ellen? Otherwise, I think we're going to wrap it up because this has gone over. Hopefully, I've answered everybody's questions. You got to see the beautiful beach and see that it is real and it is really that pretty. And it's not just the pictures that I'm posting with a filter on it. It really is that beautiful. And so this is honestly, and I can say this, and those clients of you that have been with me for a long time, I'm sure you've heard me talk about this property, but it truly for me is the one that I compare every other family all-inclusive to. And I mean that. This one for me checks all the boxes. It has the beach, it has a water park, it has all the dining, and it has so many different types of room categories that there's something for everybody. And especially when I'm dealing with large families, I can find a room category that's going to work for them. There's actually villas down at the Key West Village, 4 bedrooms. So you can put a whole family down there. And it feels like you are in Key West. It is beautiful. So again, this for me is the property that I compare every other all-inclusive family friendly to, whether it's Mexico or the Caribbean. I just do, because there's nothing here that doesn't check a box for me. So again, a favorite of mine. I hope this has been informative. You've gotten to see this beautiful beach. And again, they're open right now. The other thing I love about Sandals and Beaches is that there's many resorts that I can't book until it has to be a year in advance. I can actually book your room through 2022 right now. So if you're not ready to travel in 2021, or again, this is at a price point where it's not, affordable for everyone. But what I tell people is that if you want to get here, if this is a goal, this is a dream trip, let's book you out 18. I have people on the books for Christmas next year. Get yourself a reservation. It's $20 per person through us, fully refundable. Get your trip on the books. You can pay along the way. I have never had anyone come home and say, that was too much money. We shouldn't have done it. I just don't get that when you come here. So it's worth the money. If you need more time to pay that, we have the time. We can book you into 2022 right now for $20, fully refundable per person. Get your name, get your date, and then you can make payments along the way. If you can't, you don't want that bill at the end, we can do that. So these are all really important things. And I think even if you're not ready to quite travel yet, again, if you're on the fence and you want to come to a resort and you don't want to wait and you don't want to be like trying to get your lounge chair at 8 in the morning, now's the time. So for those of you kind of itching to get back into it, let's try to get you here. But if not, let's look at dates into 2022 and get you here, because it is one that you will remember. It is a trip of a lifetime for many. So thank you guys for joining me. I appreciate it. Any questions, Ellen will gather that. We'll follow up with email, and I'll be doing more videos from here that I'll post to Facebook and Instagram. Lots of pictures to come, and hopefully we can get you here. So thank you. Bye, everybody. I'm going to Arizona's now. Bye.